I've been hearing nice things about Godot for quite a few months now. I have been reading about it on Twitter, I have been watching YouTubers using it, so I thought it was a good time for me to start using it. But first, I have to learn how to use it. I can probably Google my way into making a game, right? Right? First thing to do was to start gathering resources to learn the engine. There's actually a lot of things out there to learn how to make a game in Godot. There's a simple guide on how to make your first game on the official documentation, and I found this amazing website called gdquest. It has a lot of different tutorials, and they are all very well written. There is this one which is about making a tactics game, something I'm very interested in, and also this one about creating a single platformer. I really like creating platformer games, and it's something that you can always fit in a game jam. This one also teaches about inheritance and tile sets in Godot, which I'm sure are going to be useful concepts along the way. Now let's try something different. Let's search on YouTube. I found two interesting playlists by Heartbeast, one with a mobile RPG game and one with an action RPG. The action RPG honestly looks amazing, but I'm not sure if I have enough time to go through all of it for this video, especially because I want to go over at least 2 or 3 of these tutorials. And by the way, all of these links are going to be in the description. So I decided to start with the mobile RPG tutorial. With 9 videos, it should be enough to give me a good quick start. Just a few hours in, and I already had a simple battle mechanic going on, animations, and UI that actually looks good. Well, a lot of it is good design and art by Heartbeast, but it also shows how Godot is really easy to get into. If you sum the time of all these videos, you have about 4 to 5 hours of content, and it's honestly amazing the end result of what you can do in such a short time. Now that I'm over my first little project, here's some interesting things I want to bring up about Godot engine. Godot has this onReady keyword, which initializes a variable once whichever node that owns it is already in the scene tree. We just make things a little bit more safer. The scenes are just text files and it's actually pretty easy to read, so it might help to avoid possible merge issues when working with other people. And then I want to talk a little bit about user interface. The way the UI in Gadot is structured remembers me the book. This one, User Interface Programming for Games. This is pretty much the only book I found on the subject, and it gives very good directions on how to create user interface layer for a game engine. And what Gadot has is very in line with this book. So if you are into making your own tools, your own engine or whatever, Gadot is a good study case. But anyway, let's get back to some tutorials. Next, I would like to see how the official introduction to Gadot is according to their own documentation. It is a very simple tutorial that I think it won't take more than 1 or 2 hours for me to finish. And they even have C#, so I'll be trying that. Despite the editor throwing me a warning every time I open Godot saying C# is still on alpha or something like that, it works pretty well. I didn't have any problems with it. A slightly annoying thing is that every change I make, I have to click on build up there in the editor. But it's also good because you can possibly catch errors early. In the past, I used to really enjoy using C# on game engines, especially in Unity, because I felt it was too powerful. But in Godot, it feels more like a syntax difference. I'm not sure if I can use everything C# has to offer here, but to be fair, this project is probably way too simple for me to draw any conclusions like that. So maybe in the future I can try making something more complex. One of the advantages of C# is using events and delegates, but Godot has their signal system, which kind of achieves that even with GDScript. Another nice thing is that with C# I can use Visual Studio or Visual Studio Code. Usually I prefer working with an application just for the coding, so that's nice. Maybe on the next tutorial I can also try editing GDScript from an external editor. A little downside is when using an external editor, when you create a signal function, it doesn't create it automatically for you. But anyway, after creating the player scene and the enemy scene, it was finally time to start creating the main scene. The main scene was just a better way of putting things together, and we quickly have a gameplay prototype going on here. Next steps are adding a little bit of user interface. and then adding some sounds to make things cooler. And we have this simple game of dodging the creeps. Now I believe it's time to try to do my own thing. I wanted to do another tutorial, but I guess I'll just try doing my own thing. I should have enough, right? Right? I'll try recreating a simplified version of this turn-based mechanic that I created and recreated multiple times in Unity. So I just have to create a new project, import these nice assets that I found on kenny.nl, and you know when you do tutorials and you make nice things, and then when you're going to do your own thing, you just don't have a clue how to do it, or how do you even start? So I guess I'll have to make it in another video. Being honest, I just wanted to dedicate an entire video to doing my own thing in Godot, I guess. And I feel like if I had all of it in just one video, it would be too much. So that's where we are. And it probably will take longer for me to finish it. So I hope you liked it. And I guess I'll see you on the next one.